A combination of metal, rubber parts, and fuel can help you get from one place to a distant place without breaking a sweat. Pieces of plastic and metal put together the right way can make you communicate with someone who's miles away from you. And most importantly, information and data can now be stored and retrieved later on. And the world is in need of people who understand how this information and technology works. So what exactly is information technology? First and foremost, it must be understood that this is a very broad topic. But information technology is the use of computer systems, storages, networks and tangible devices, technological infrastructure, systems and processes to create, modify, transfer, store, multiply, and exchange all forms of electronic data. So what exactly is data? Data is every type of information from facts, statistics, numerical sequences, and patterns, which is analyzed, studied, compared, modified, stored, and overall used as a component in the overall information that the technology user needs. The value of information technology is that although people are capable of handling data using our brains, and even the old paper and pen processes, these processes are not as reliable, efficient, and effective as relying on information technology. A computer can process millions of pieces of data at a given time. Its storage or memory can hold and secure information without forgetting a single piece of data. So where is information technology applicable? From the general information above, information technology plays a significant role in business. Some examples of this would be customer handling, all the way from handling customer service, personal day-to-day communication, storing financial records, and all other human activities that deal with handling electronic data. Information technology is essential to the day-to-day operations of a business, and even more important when it comes to scaling your business to make more money. And this is why learning the skills of information technology is incredibly valuable whether you want to get a job or start your own business. Next, let's talk about hardware versus software. Before we can discuss examples of information technology, it's important that we talk about hardware and software. Hardware is tangible technology that you can actually touch when it comes to dealing with information technology. From personal computers, laptops, mobile phones, tablets, and everything else that is physical and is used for the purposes of IT. Software, on the other hand, is intangible, aka you can't touch it. So this would be things such as websites, computer programs, or systems and applications. And it's going to be broadly separated into two different groups, which is software systems and applications. Software systems are basic programs that are tasked to perform computer functions at its most basic level. An example of this would be an operating system for a phone, such as iOS or Android. Applications, on the other hand, also have a lot of examples, such as databases, email servers, transaction processing systems, process control systems, enterprise collaboration systems, and many more. Some examples of this would be Slack, Dropbox, HubSpot, Google Drive, and Microsoft Office. Next, let's talk about information technology as a career path. Information technology is very broad, but it is a great career path. If you are able to learn the skills of information technology with the constant rise of technology in this modernized world, it is safe to say that you will almost definitely have a job. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the median annual wage for computer and information technology occupations is $97,000. That's over twice the median annual wage for all other applications, which is $45,000. And according to Glassdoor.com, an entry-level position as an IT help desk technician makes over $50,000 a year. So not only does information technology offer you a good salary, but being in IT keeps you updated with the latest in technology innovation. A few examples of fields related to information technology are IT management, computer systems analyst, web development, cybersecurity, cloud administration, and database administration.
In the early 19th century, mathematical tables were created by hand for such purposes as navigating ships. To produce them faster and remove human error, British scientist Charles Babbage invented a mechanical difference engine. Remarkably, his next project was an all-purpose programmable computer called the Analytical Engine, described in 1837. Babbage was helped by Ada Lovelace, daughter of Lord Byron. In 1843, she published an algorithm for the machine, in effect the world's first computer program. The Analytical Engine was never finished. It was a century later when modern computer theory began with a paper by a British mathematician Alan Turing in 1936. During World War II, Turing worked at Bletchley Park in England, the headquarters of efforts to decipher enemy-coded messages. One target was Enigma, a machine that sent orders in code to German submarines. Turing designed several ways to speed up the decoding work. He also introduced the engineer Tommy Flowers, who built Colossus, the world's first programmable digital electronic computer. It began operating in 1944. There were no stored programs, and the wiring had to be altered for each new task. Colossus was not a general-purpose computer. The first of these was completed in the United States in 1946 and called ENIAC. As in the British computer, vacuum tubes performed the calculations. ENIAC was designed by John Mauchly and J. Presper Eckert and consisted of modules to perform different functions, but it still needed manual rewiring for new pieces of work. Altogether, it was an enormous machine covering more than 150 square meters.
Some people say digital literacy is learning computer skills, but it's about so much more. Digital literacy can be discovering online sources for your research paper, or the best local taco truck, evaluating articles about politics, health, and trending news, asking ethical questions about the things you create, and not being a jerk online, recording, writing, mixing, researching, and creating for work, school, and most importantly, your passion. Communicating your ideas to the world and collaborating with others from the group chat to the shared doc. Choosing the best tools, platforms, and places to be. Plus, keeping all those files manageable. And most importantly, it's about you figuring out how to be the best, healthiest, and happiest you.
Process of selling technology as a software, hardware, or an IT service. And there are many different names for those who work in tech sales. It can be referred to as technical sales, technology sales, software sales, and some of the entry-level roles are business development representative or software development representative. And if you work in tech sales, you'll typically be selling to other businesses. This is known as B2B sales as opposed to B2C. B2C means business to customer. This would be a typical sales job like working at a cell phone store or being a used car salesman. B2B means business to business. This is the type of selling that you would be doing in tech sales. Business to business tends to be much higher ticket sales. So with each sale, you would have a much larger commission. Plus, it tends to be a lot less pushy and a lot more about understanding what your customers' needs are and how your company can best solve their problems. So what are some of the steps in the tech sales cycle? Finding leads, contacting leads, creating sales reports, coordinating with other members of the sales and marketing team, building a strong and stable clientele, managing the clientele to make sure that they're happy, holding meetings with your clients, which sometimes might involve traveling, studying and understanding your clients' businesses as well as the industries that they're in, and sometimes even helping the rest of the company to create products in order to solve your clients' problems. Now, you might be wondering, why am I even talking about tech sales? Well, the reason I'm talking about tech sales right now on this channel is because, put simply, it's by far one of the best opportunities right now. There are 18-year-olds that are going into tech sales and making somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 after their first year. I recently did an interview on this channel with Della, who is a stay-at-home mom going to college, who decided to get into tech sales and landed a six-figure job with her dream company within a month and a half. So not only is there a very low barrier to entry where you don't need a college degree or any previous experience experience, but on top of that, you can make really good money right off the bat. And it's not just the entry-level job that pays well. I've interviewed other people on this channel, for instance, someone who was 4 years in making around $220,000 a year, and somebody who had some background experience and was about 5 years into their tech sales career, making over $540,000 a year. So with all this opportunity in tech sales, why isn't everyone going into it? Well, first of all, it's not that well known. And second of all, a lot of people don't think that they have the skills to do well in tech sales. And to be honest, sales isn't for everyone. So here are some of the skills that you would need to develop in order to be successful in tech sales. Obviously, you'd have to have some technical sales skills. You'd also want to have good interpersonal skills. You want to be the type of person who likes to learn every single day and has a willingness to always learn new products due to the constant innovation in the tech world. You have to have decent levels of literacy and a basic understanding of technology. You have to have the capability of using sales tools in order to aid the sales transaction. And most of all, you need to have a passion for solving problems and selling to your clients. So what are some of the jobs within tech sales? Well, I already mentioned two of the names for the entry-level jobs, and they're essentially the same thing, but at different companies, they might have slightly different job descriptions. So for instance, sales development representative and business development representative are almost the same. These are also known as SDR and BDR. At some companies, SDRs might convert hot and cold leads to leads that are sales qualified. And at some companies, BDRs handle initial contact with potential clients, and that basically means that they outreach to people and collect leads. Another position you might move into is inside sales representative. They tend to not meet clients in person, but they do handle them through the telephone or online. A step up from this would be an account executive. These are typically the ones that would actually be speaking to the clients once they're qualified. A step up from this would be an account manager. Account managers would typically handle post-sale transactions to assure customer satisfaction. And down the line, there would be even yet other positions. For instance, customer success managers, renewal specialists, business development managers, sales directors, VP of sales, country manager, strategic partnership managers, and strategic alliance managers.